the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends. Let's go and be changed. TMP is doing the most. TMP is doing the most. It's the time of the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends.
Hello everybody, welcome back to The Miracle Perspective, and this is the TMP Legends Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going over the oceans to the other side of the world, and today we are in the United States with my good friend that I just met at the 10X Growth Bootcamp with Grant Cardone. I mean, thanks to COVID-19, we get to meet people through these media platforms, man. And this is a very great guy that we connected through Instagram and is doing some awesome stuff that you're about to know in a few seconds. And I'm talking about the one and only Jeff Trimble. Everybody give it up for Jeff! My man.
What's going on, man? I said this to my girlfriend a couple of seconds ago, listening to your audio messages coming through Instagram. I was like, I love this guy. I love this guy's energy. I think this dude is ridiculously awesome. I was like, man, I don't know what is going on, but I love this guy's energy. It's contagious.
You know, I'm gonna tell you the same thing that Grant usually says. That he usually says what you see, you only see, well, what you see about other people is what is reflecting off of you. So you see that I've got energy because you've got energy yourself, and that's the only thing I can say. And I went through your posts and I realized that this guy is an outgoing person, always out there with a great energy, and that's why it was easy for me to connect with you, man. You've got a great energy yourself.
Thanks, man. Just showing up every day, trying to do the best that I can to help others win, succeed themselves. So,
speaking of which, man, let the people know who's Jeff and who are you, man? What are you made of?
That sounds good, man. I'll give you the story and I'll give you the abridged version for condensed time. My name's Jeff Trimble, obviously. I'm a 27-year-old full-time entrepreneur. Most of the internet knows me as Jeff, the Honest Marketer. I own a digital client acquisition company. I'm a client acquisition coach. I work with people, content creators, course creators, personal brands, course creators, I said that twice, insurance agents, agencies, help them gen more leads, close more deals, right? So anybody that has a product to sell that can create content around their product, those are the kind of my ideal client. Anyways, so for me, man, I live a laptop lifestyle. I work remote, 100% from the internet, do everything from the internet. In fact, the majority of my clients are spread out across the United States and are not local to me here. I have 0 clients in Austin, Texas, where I live. Everyone is all remote. And so I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for 4 years, which is really cool to me and special to me because it's something I dreamed about my whole life, was to figure out how to fire my boss, live the laptop lifestyle, travel. Speaking of travel, before COVID, I was on almost 200 airplanes in a 2-year period. Went all across Europe. I went to Mexico. Me and my parents went to Poland, Berlin, Paris. We went to Austria, Germany, just a couple of different places. We saw a bunch of the World War II stuff and Nazis and the Berlin Wall and all that, which was absolutely insane to see, life-changing, perspective-changing. But on the flip side, my girlfriend's Mexican, and so I got to go see a different part of the world from outside of the United States. And we went to a little village inside of Mexico as well. And so that's a thing, and the reason I talk about that, not only do I do internet marketing and entrepreneurship and all that stuff, I'm always trying to challenge myself into seeing a different perspective, because us as Americans, we're so lucky. And most of us Americans, we just don't understand how lucky we are. And so I like to see the world and how other people live and how other people experience the world and what other people are doing and going through, because then it helps me genuinely understand people a little better to help them better. And that's me, man. Just doing traveling, understanding people, learning to help people, coaching people, marketing agency stuff, internet e-com stuff. I guess I'll tell you one more success story before me stopping here. I just did about a year ago, we did a funnel, which is just to kind of give context to the value, that did just shy of $250,000 in sales in 60 days through paid advertisements. It was like 202,000 in 45 days. which was ridiculously cool. We spent $68,000 on paid ads. At one point, I was spending $7,000 a day in paid advertisements before that whole funnel thing. We had to shut it down. But so that's me, man. I'm a hobby hustler. I'm a traveler. I'm an entrepreneur. I've sold a lot of things to a lot of people. Marketing agency stuff, coaching stuff, e-commerce ventures, software ventures, etc., etc. I've just been a sales guy kind of my whole life, internet marketer, and all that kind of came later.
You've said a lot. I want to follow up. First thing first is, you said you call yourself an honest marketer. Where does that come from?
Yeah, man. So that's a great question. That's a very great question. So there's two reasons for it. The first thing, it comes from a lot of internet marketers pretend to be something that they're not. 100%. And the whole saying, fake it till you make it, right? Yeah. And so for me, when I first got started in creating content online, I followed kind of down that path of pretending to be something that I'm not. And about a year into my content creation journey, and I never was like boasting or any of that stuff, but I had this internal feeling of myself that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, or I don't have value to offer, right? It was a lot of internal dilemma. So in my head, I was trying to be somebody else to make me feel like I had value, right? Pretending on myself. And then about a year in of me creating content, I said, you know what? Fuck this. And, I'm done pretending to be something that I'm not. And I'm going to be honest with myself about my strengths, my weaknesses, who I am, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. And I'm not going to be sorry for being me, of what's bad or what I'm not good at. And I'll be sorry if I mess up and hurt somebody or say something stupid or I'm wrong, sure. But I'm not going to apologize for being weak in certain areas because we're human. Yeah. And so Honest Marketer started with that. It was like, Jeff, I'm going to be honest with myself about my strengths, my weaknesses, what I'm about, so I can be honest with you and give you the best perspective of what's going on. Because about 3 years ago, like I said, every internet marketer was so fake. And it also made me laugh. Seth Godin wrote a book that says all marketers are liars. And so I was like, reading through that book, and it made me laugh because it was all about, storytelling and telling stories in a way that makes images, perceived to be the way, or products to perceive to be the way that the marketer wanted it to be. And I said, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be a guy that falsifies information. There's also more to it as a sales guy, because my backstory, I jumped from sales job to sales job for a long time. I could talk about that in a little bit, but I was forced to sell products and services in a way that didn't make me happy, that I couldn't go to sleep at night because I was like, this is not right. But the company, in order for me to get paid, forced me to do it. Right. And so when I went full entrepreneur, that really became a passion of mine, is I'm going to be honest, ethical, and I'm going to tell it how it is. If I don't think you should buy my product, then you're not going to buy my product. If I don't think you're qualified, then you're not going to buy. I'm never going to be that guy to do that. And I'm never going to be fake in terms of who I am to you. Now, am I not going to always tell you all the details of everything in every situation? Hell no, because I'm in business. It's not my job or responsibility to do that. But I will be straight up about me, who I am, and I'll give you the best version of me. And that's really where it came from.
Wow, man. And for the courage to say, wow, this is not working for me, where you were working in sales and you felt like this is not right for me, for the courage to actually stand up and say, I'm leaving now, I'm going out. Where did you get that courage from? And when you left, did you have a plan of what you were going to do? And were you not scared that, hey man, how am I going to survive now? I'm losing a stable income, maybe?
So man, that's a great question. It goes to a different part of my story, pre-entrepreneurship. So it starts when I was 19, 20, and I was a manager at Dick's Sporting Goods, which is just a retail store, sporting goods store. I got put on working nights and I hated it, right? My dad was a retail store manager for Walmart. And so I was following up in his footsteps because that was what success was, like the only version of success that I knew.
There was that.
So yeah, exactly. My dad made ridiculously good money, like multiple six figures some years. So it was good, or what I knew was good or thought was good, right? But working at nights, I've always been an audiobook kind of person, and I've always wanted more out of life. And so I was working nights, there was no customers in the place, so I'd stock shelves and stuff. And so I had my headphones in with Audible on, and eventually I stumbled across the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in that book, man, he talks one chapter, it's like chapter 6 or something in the book. He's like, if you don't know what you want in your life, go get a sales job. And he goes, choose the sales job for the skills you're going to acquire, the money you're going to make. And from that day forward, literally like a month later after me reading that book, I left Dick's Sporting Goods, got a sales job, not for the skills or not for the money I was going to make, for the skills I was going to acquire. 8 months after getting my first sales job, I had acquired all the skills that sales job had to teach me. At the time, I was living in Northern California. That's where I grew up, in a small town, small city. And I got an opportunity to move to Portland, Oregon. For those of you guys that are not in the United States and know that contextually, it's a 12-hour drive by car difference. And I had never moved that far away from my family before. I had never visited that city before. I'd never even seen it before. I'd never even been that far north before. I don't even know that I'd ever been that far away from home before. And I said, you know what? I'm going to move to Portland, Oregon and get a different sales job. And here's the kicker. I had a friend that lived there that said, Jeff, you can live on my couch until you figure it out. We just have no room to store your stuff. So I gave away a whole apartment full of clothes, a whole apartment full of furniture, a whole apartment full of dishes, a whole apartment full of appliances, a whole apartment full of everything, gone, gave it away. Moved up to Portland, Oregon with one dresser and 4 boxes of clothes and one computer, and lived on a couch for 3 months just to get a different sales job in Oregon. True story. And that couch separated in the middle because it was one of those like little 2-seat things where you can pull the cushions out, separated in the middle. So 3 a.m. I'd find myself like a waffle or like folded taco in the center of the couch there. And so, but that became my life. Every 8 months, man, I'd switch from sales job to sales job, acquiring the skills. Every time I'd hit the top of my commission structure and couldn't learn anymore, I'd switch to the sales job. And that story turns into literally everything in my life. So at one point, I was deathly afraid of the phone. I couldn't sell over the phone at all.
Yeah.
And one day I was like, man, I got to get over this. I went and joined a call center. I worked at a call center for Comcast, and I took 30 phone calls every single day. Now, to make things worse with this whole call center thing, I'm ADD, ADHD all over the place. And I had I had a headset that was chaining me to a desk, a physical cable that would attach me to a phone. And I literally, it was the, and I'm just like, I can't do this. And 8 months I worked there. Eventually I got a wireless headset, which was the best thing that ever happened. Yeah. And so I could pace, like still to this day, when I'm on the phone, I pace back and forth in order to call. But I would just wireless headset, walk around the place, make sales over the phone. And
was it the fear or is it the ADHD? What that makes you just walk around?
ADHD. It's not, most of the time my fear is just lack of knowledge. Like I have like this weird, if I've never been there, my anxiety, like I don't have anxiety issues, but I overthink it, and then it causes me to be scared of doing it because I've never done it. And if I do it 3 or 4 times, and it's like, fuck this, I got it, you know, and then I could do anything. But I have a hard time in certain instances to start something like that I've never experienced. Like because I don't want to feel bad or do weird or do it wrong, because I pride the things that I do. And so like a new project, I'm not afraid to start or ask questions, but it takes me a little bit longer to get started on a new project that I don't know anything about, if that makes sense.
Because I'm wondering, man, knowing that about yourself, what's the madness that got to you that made you leave home and go to a complete different place where you lost everything, all the amenities, all the luxuries that you had, just to start from the bottom? I mean, you're coming from a well-off family. You didn't have to do that, man. What was going on in your mind?
Well, that's kind of the perspective there. I came from a well-off family, but the well-off family wasn't really well-off because my dad was bad with money. So my dad made ridiculously good money, and he became nose deep in debt. And in fact, he was nose deep in debt majority of his life, and still like working his way out of it today, which he's doing amazing today. It took a bunch of years later. But when I was young, very young, like 12, 13, my mom had a major stress attack about money because my dad would put everything on credit cards and just overspend. And so when I was very young, I'd see that in my mom, and I believe I would look at my mom being stressed and frustrated for the lack of money. And so inside of me, I believed that money brought happiness because my mom wasn't happy because she didn't have money. So the reverse of that is if she had money, she would be happy. And that caused me to kind of be money hungry from a little young age, I do believe. Because I was a hustler in high school and I sold like energy drinks and stuff throughout high school as well. So I was always kind of hustling for money. But I think it stemmed from that. In the California where I came from, man, taxes are horrible, politics are horrible. Like there's a lot of stuff going bad in that location because it's a small town. There's no money there at all. And so I had no other choice really. If I wanted to start leveling up and start making more money for myself, the sales job I was making like $33,000 a year, which is nothing. Right? I switched over to the new sales job and I start instantly in Portland, I was like making $56,000 a year. So a massive pay raise, like what is it? Almost 70% pay raise just from switching from California to Oregon because of the population difference, big city. So that was a driving factor for me for sure. But majority of it was I hated the city. I hated where I was at. I was in a very bad place mentally too. That's another part of the story. I went through a lot of like dark trauma stuff that happened there that kind of, it was all like a compound effect, lack of money, lack of situation, horrible stuff, girl issues, roommate issues, just stuff that just kind of compounded to eventually just to a point where this is an escape for me to get out of this mental hell and monetary hell that I was in because I really was in a depression spot. And so it kind of pushed me in a way that was really cool. There was a lot of dominoes that just kind of fell away when I decided to do it. So it was just a lot of things that was there.
Wow. That's a huge journey of self-searching and finding yourself, man. And unfortunately, not everyone is willing to confront those dark spots about themselves and to find themselves on a deeper level. And you did that. And from that, you came out as what we see today and with what you are doing. I mean, tell me how are you doing in your business right now?
Yeah, man, good. I mean, every day is a day you can do better. And so being a sales guy and an entrepreneur, I feel like in the day in the life, I'm hard on myself. Like I'm not doing good enough. I need to work harder. I need to hit bigger goals. But if the second I take a step back and look at it, I mean, just on the track record, I haven't had a job in 4 years. I've been able to travel. I pay my bills. Me and my girlfriend live a nice life. Me and my girlfriend just now decided to work with me full time. She doesn't need a job. So I successfully retired my girlfriend in my business. So we're both of us working together. I'm able to support and help my dad with his debt every month. I kick him money, and start help him paying off his credit cards and stuff of that sort. And so am I a multimillionaire, which is the what they put a chart out? No. But if you look at all of the things that I'm doing, I'll tell you this, man, if I want to work, I work. If I don't want to work, I don't really have to work. And that's this weird place in entrepreneurship that once you get your bills and everything covered, you get to this spot where it's like, what do I want to do outside of income creation? What is my time worth to me? What am I actually excited about doing? And I've been there for 2 years. And that is you asked me about soul searching and all, a lot of it comes from that moment of, okay, I don't really have to worry about my own bills and my own income so much anymore because I have the skills to acquire that income whenever I need it. What's next? What do I really, really want to do here? Not in my pocketbook, my wallet here, And that's an amazing spot as an entrepreneur if you could ever get there, because that's really where the heart comes out, or I guess the heart's on this side, but the heart comes out. Man. And yeah. And you really get to care, and that's what's really cool. And I believe that's what makes the difference in the world. So.
Are you a professional looking to take your career to the next level? You need more than just your qualifications and experience to take your career to the level it deserves. Let Pro Relations Toastmasters Club help you get the skills you need to communicate with confidence and clarity. Join our next free online event to find out how Pro Relations Toastmasters Club can help you. See the details on the screen. Pro Relations Toastmasters Club, taking your career to the next level.
So like what really motivates you? I mean, I understand your background was the first sort of motivation to say, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this. So it was more of like pushing you away from something. And then you got away from that and you got to a place where now you're stable. What you were running away from, you have covered it. Now you are fine. So what motivates you?
Two things, man. My mom, my dad, my family, always my family, because there's only so many hours you have left with them. And that to me always is a thing in my heart where I know that there's going to be a day that phone call is not going to ring anymore, and that scares the fuck out of me, you know. And that is something that, because this is another part of the story. I was adopted when I was a kid by my stepdad. My mom's my real mom. My dad is my stepdad. And that to me is so special because I could have ended up such a bad place in a split home or grew up without a dad, like what causes mental problems to kids. And so I don't have any of that. And to me, that is special, which then makes my parents special and my dad special because he stepped up when he didn't have to. And that is insane to me, you know, like, and I want to give back to my family for that. So step one. And step two is, man, I had a lot of people help me out on my way up. A lot of people gave to me, showed up for me when I didn't deserve it, you know, like I just didn't. And people helped me out or gave me money for clients and service work that was like, dude, I was clearly not qualified to do that. But they're like, you know what, we'll give you a shot because you seem like a good person. And so because of all those people that paid it forward for me, I feel like it's my responsibility to do the same for others. You know, and so this is true. One of my mentors yesterday that I work with, she literally yelled at me. She's like, Jeff, you do so many free calls or so many free consultations and free trainings and free workshops with people. She's like, your advice is worth, literally made me 30, 40, 50, $100,000. She's like, it's made me multiple six figures, the things that you've told me. And she's like, and you're giving that shit away for fucking free. She's like, can you explain this to me? Like, why do you do so much free work for people when you should just be charging?
Why?
Because a lot of people did it for me, man. You know, and so I give away free,
Wow.
Not always, you know, I do charge for my products. I do charge for my services. I definitely charge if you want a lot of my time, but I know that, man, that there's a lot of people out there that are just looking for a better way, that need that little push, that are in a shitty spot, because I've been there, man. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to like be standing on a cliff thinking you're going to jump because you're done. You know, you just don't want any more of it. I know what it's like to wake up and have the police pounding down your door and seeing stuff that is going to give you nightmares for the rest of your life. I know what that's like. And I know that there's a ton of other people that have it worse than me because I've seen it in the world now. It's like, holy shit, I was lucky. And I've seen things that, you know, through Mexico and Europe and all these other places. It's like, dude, those are real nightmares, you know? And you being in Africa, I can only imagine what's going on there. I've never been there, but I'm sure that there's things like that there too. You know, it's just like,
some parts of
and
stuff,
so,
yeah, some part of Africa, dismal, man, hell.
Yeah. And that to me, man, it's like, I know at least part of what it's like because I've seen things like that it's just like, bro, you know? And so I know people need help, and I've been in some situations that people help me on monetary side, mental side, push side. And so I've always believed if you have the ability, you have the responsibility. If you have the ability, you have the responsibility. And I have the ability to help people, so I do. Can I help everybody in the world? I don't know. I can do it one person at a time though. You know, one step at a time, one moment at a time. When I have the ability, when I have the time. And I also believe, man, that you do good, good comes back to you. There's been many times where I'll go help people for free and then randomly money will show up in my bank from somebody else. That it's just like, how did that happen? And it's like, well, you know, it just happened. And I just have faith that things will work out in the end. And it usually does, you know?
Dope stuff, man. Yo, I respect your perspective. The way you view things is so different, man. it's just out of this world. If you have the ability, you have a responsibility. And I think most people are selfish, man, because they just feel like whatever they have, the abilities they have, the capabilities, the talents, all they have is for themselves and their family. And they just don't want to share with other people. And here you are sharing a different perspective on that. That's quite profound, man. I really respect you for that.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of people, they don't understand that there's a lot in this world. They're in the mindset of scarcity. There's not enough. And it's because of how they grew up, right? There wasn't enough in their cities, their villages, and their towns where they originally were at, you know? And for me, my life started in a place that there was plenty. There was more than enough. And so like, right. I think that is a blessing. I mean, there was more than enough, but I mean, there wasn't enough because my dad blew it, but there was plenty if he didn't blow it. You know? And so I never went without. And so I know I got both sides of it, man, you know, because in my adulthood, I went to a point where there wasn't enough, where there was like literally heroin needles and drugs running through my neighborhood and homeless people breaking into my neighbor's house, you know, taking a shower in their bathroom, destroying their whole house. Like, so, you know, I've seen both sides. And so it's like, dude, you have enough, you know, there is enough. And so I can give. And so everyone's got something to give, and it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. Your words have weight. You know, the things that I say have weight, the things that you say have weight, the things that anybody has to say has weight and can affect somebody somewhere to do better in this world. And I think when I realized that I have words that can help somebody somewhere, that it's like, man, I need to do more of that.
Dope, man. So tell me, man, you're a great follower of Grant Cardone for the past, I don't know how many years, but what is it that you have learned? What's the biggest takeaway you've got from him?
Yeah, man, I'm a follower off and on of Grant. There's a lot of things that are amazing about him, and there's a lot of things that just turn me off back and forth off of business stuff. But to answer the question directly, I really admire his message of 10X and the hustle muscle, right? Of look, man, it is going to be hard than you think it is. It's going to be more stress than you think it is. It's going to be more work than you think it is. A lot of people, when we first get started in business, I had a conversation with somebody the other day. They were just so new to it. They were youngly naive because they didn't understand the work that was really going to go in and the process that was really going to take to get to where they wanted to go. And it's so crazy to me. And I was that person too, you know, where it's like this person, he's like, man, you have zero little followers on social media and you're like so good at this stuff. Why aren't you making $1 million a month yet? And they like kind of like got on me, and they're just brand new about it. Like, why aren't you making $1 million a month? I'm like, do you have any idea how hard it is to maintain that? And they're like, no, that's so easy. And they have this messed up perspective of how things happen. And most people are like that. And that's what I've gotten out of Grant is it's like, dude, it's so much harder than you really think it is. There's so many things that have to happen. And so set your goals higher, expect to have to do more, expect to work more, because then if it's easier than what you expected, then you hit your targets, you know, like increase that target goal, increase that number goal, increase that effort goal, because it's probably going to be harder. But what's the worst that's going to happen if you don't? You know, what's the worst that's going to happen if you don't?
Yeah.
Well,
dope, man. That's dope, man.
More. Yeah, man.
Thanks, wow, man. That's really profound. So tell me, man, what are you excited about right now in your life?
Yeah, man. The biggest thing I'm super excited about is the relationship I'm building with my girlfriend. I've been with her now for 4 years. And so the relationship that we're building there is based on business and personal growth and the process that we're going. That's why it's very relative. For years, I kind of kept my girlfriend at arm's length away when it comes to business and all that stuff. Because I didn't want to change her or enforce my opinions and beliefs on how business and life should be. Nice. And so I wanted her to develop her own opinions, her own way, because I don't know, with that one, for many people, I'm okay with sharing and pushing people to be better. But when it was somebody, my partner, who I wanted to be, I wanted that individual to decide it themselves, and it wasn't forced. And that's what she did. She decided it herself. of pushing it. And I'll give you the example. Like for years, I've been saying that she didn't really need a job and that I probably can support and we can do this whole process, but she wanted to be independent and make her own money. And when COVID hit, there became a moment that happened at her job and she's just like, I'm done, you know? And she's like, I don't want to deal with this job stuff anymore. Jeff, let's work together and we'll figure it out. She quit.
Wow.
She literally quit and said, we're doing it. And I was like, finally.
That's what you wanted all along.
Yeah. And so it's cool because now she's here. She helps me with things because me and her are exactly different energies. Like I'm super outgoing, super crazy. She's a little bit more introverted. And I'm ADD all over the place, really good at sales calls, and she's good at the desk work. It's so mind-blowing to me that anybody can be good at desk work. I don't know, because I can't. I don't get that. But she is.
It's not anybody, bro. It's not anybody. It makes the two of us, eh?
Yeah, exactly, man. And that really helps me with my day in the life. That helps me with the things that I do. And so that helps me help more people. She's able to take the things that I'm bad at and supplement that stuff in a way that I just could never do. And it's about, you know, partnerships, whether it's girlfriend doing it or employees doing it or whatever. Having people do things that you just can't do is so valuable. And now we're able to, you've been mentioning the Instagram content and the content that I'm posting. She's doing all that for me.
Oh, really?
That's a new thing. So I do a workshop where I have a paid mastermind thing that's $37 a month. And I every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, I do an hour and a half long training. And what she does is she takes that training and chops it up into little pieces so I can post those videos on Instagram. Wow. And without her, those videos wouldn't be there. It's just I don't have time to do that.
She's doing a great work, man. Your Instagram is very clean. It shows that there's a feminine touch to it.
She does it. She's the one taking the photos of my photos that I'm doing with like the sticky notes on my Instagram. She's the one editing the videos for me. Nice. You know, she's doing that. I mean, my YouTube videos, even she's the one that edits all of my YouTube videos for me, so I can post them up. Yeah, I don't have time to do it. Not that I don't have time, I do, but it's so hard for me and my energy. I mean, as you can see on the video, I'm literally not stopped moving the whole time at this desk. Now, try to force me to click buttons for an hour and a half. It's hard. It's very hard for me to do that all day. And there's other things that I have to do for clients that require me to sit at a computer that just suck my energy right out. And so the more that I can be in front of the camera, moving, all that stuff, the easier it is for me to give value to others on other ways. And so if I can delegate the things that I'm not good at, that's what we do.
Wow, man. Sharing a lot of information, bro. Valuable information that you're sharing. So tell me, what can you help the people who are watching right now with?
Yeah, man. So I'll say this, okay? Most people are looking for ways to make more money, right? Especially, that's a big thing. And I think history, this is the greatest time on the planet. I think we all get caught up in politics, especially in the United States, of this, that, why this world sucks, why the USA sucks, which you guys aren't in the USA, so I don't know if you deal with that, but
I loved watching the debate between Trump and Biden. It's very interesting. I can't wait to see the results of that.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to be over. in the United States, it's just ripped.
Crazy right there. It's crazy over there. Yo, crazy.
Yeah, it's a mess. And so where we're at, seriously, if we look on the timestamp of history, today, right now, is the best time in human history. It is one of the few moments in human history where there's relative peace across the globe. That's only happened like 5 or 6 times in human history where there's been an extended peace across the globe. Seriously, 5 or 6 times where, I mean, if you go back to the 1900s, which is our great grandparents' time, literally from the 1900s till about 1975, there was just nonstop wars and famines and plagues. World War I, the plague, the Great Depression, the Vietnam War, all of these wars, just literally 65 years of just BS that happened. A whole generation. Right? Yeah. Now, our generation doesn't have that. And so where I'm going with this, because of today and the internet and what we have in front of us, we are open to a global market. Me and you were talking from completely different sides of the globe. Man. 20 years ago, I would not know you. I would not see you. I would not know that I could ever, it wouldn't have happened. Today, more than ever, if you're not looking at the internet, getting started on the internet, trying to acquire followers on the internet, creating content for the internet, putting your message out on the internet, putting yourself, everybody in the world, maybe not everybody in the world, but a lot of people around the world have access to a camera and an internet connection. So if you're not taking the camera, whether it's in your cell phone, on your front-facing phone, on your laptop, and you're not producing some sort of content to share, you're missing out, man. Even if you don't have quality energy, you're missing out. Because today, right now, creating income, attention, eyeballs, okay? Eyeballs equal income.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter where you're at in the world. I could teach somebody I'll tell you this. I'm in Mexico, okay? I was literally in Mexico, in a village in Mexico, where they don't even have traditional running water, where it's like every other day, they get a water supply that fills up their basins that allow them to have water, right? Okay. Every other day, cut through their village, okay? I'm sitting there in the village. I made $5,000 from my cell phone in a single day from the village where there is literally no running water in the village from my cell phone. Now, I want to be clear with that. From my cell phone, had a 2G internet connection, which is slower than most broadband connections because I had attention, because I had eyeballs on me, because there was a thing. So I literally made more money in a village in Mexico than what the average Mexican makes in a year from the internet because of that process. And so what I'm telling you this, guys, is that leveraging things like Fiverr that exist now, leveraging things like ClickFunnels that exist now, leveraging things like affiliate marketing that exists now, you can sell things to anybody across the world. You can speak English. There's no reason why you can't be using your message. You know, if you're listening to this, you obviously understand English well enough because I've been talking in English for this long. There's no reason why you can't reach out to other countries. I understand that maybe your country doesn't have the money. Maybe it does. I don't know. But Europe does. They all speak English. France does. Majority of them speak English. You know, the UK, United States, Australia.
We do as well. In Africa, most of African countries, hey man, we've got the internet, we've got most of the stuff that we never had back in the days we have now. So what you're saying still applies to everybody, almost everybody.
Yeah, I mean the whole world, dude. If you're not leveraging the internet and you're not trying to connect with other people that have the money, if you want to change your life, change the people that you're surrounded with. Maybe not physically, but you can do that virtually. You can start connecting with other people across the internet. That's what Miracle's doing right now. I mean, what are you doing? You're reaching out to somebody in the United States that's doing something cool. So it's like, let's talk to him. There's no reason why anybody in Africa can't do that. You know what I mean? Or US, anywhere in the world. And what that does, man, is that changes your mindset and perspective on life in the world, on money. On money. Most people aren't making money because their ideas and intentions and what they believe about money is wrong.
You're right.
For me, moving and living on a couch from California to Portland, Oregon, living on a couch changed my life. Like in a way that it's impossible to explain because of the physical change in my life. New friends, new locations, new people that I was surrounding myself with, new people that I was talking with every single day, just a new environment. Then moving from Portland, okay, living there for 4 years. Now I live in Austin, Texas, which is a 45-hour drive or 36-hour drive from Portland to Austin. It was like, I think it was 36 hours nonstop, okay? 2,000 miles. You guys can Google that, 2,000 miles. And I'd never been, I visited Austin once. We did that. Me and my girlfriend did that. We have no family here, nobody here. And we've been here a year. And again, just from changing my circumstances, my circle, I now know new people. I've now grown in a way that I've never grown before because I changed the people I'm around. So if I can tell you 2 pieces of advice, use the internet, change your location. If you can't change your physical location, change your virtual location to surround yourself with other people.
Dope, man. Dope, man. Dope, man. Value over there. You just shared a ton of value there, man. Shucks, how do people get access to you?
Yeah, man. You can go over to my new Instagram account. So I've got a couple of them, but go over to the new one because I'm starting a new process with that one at Real, REAL, Jeff Trimble. You can find me there. You can hop on over to my personal website, which has my old Instagram account on it actually, but jefftrimble.com, jefftrimble.com. And you can find me there. For any of you guys that watch this on the replay or any of that stuff, if you have any questions or just want to talk, feel free to shoot me a DM at any time. Majority of the times I have moments to respond. Sometimes I don't. So if I don't reply to you and I leave you on red, I apologize in advance. It wasn't intentional. message me again, and eventually I'll reply to you. I try to reply to any DMs that come through that I can. Can't get to everybody, but as long as you're cool, calm, and collected, I will do my best to help you out.
I'll add all your details on the description link below so people can find you easily. Do you have anything to offer?
Yeah, man. I have a free ebook that you guys can download if you want. It's a cool cool Facebook strategy.
Awesome.
About getting attention and eyeballs. It's I am Jeff, Jeffe, I am Jeffe.com, which is kind of cool. You guys can pick that up as well. It's just a strategy that I've actually used. That was part of the beginning foundations of that funnel that did 202,000. It made me like 16,000 in a short period of time.
Sure.
And so it was a.
How much have you made this year?
Venture that I used for.
With lockdown and all those things, how much roughly?
I don't know, man. Last month I made 10,000, 8,000 last month. And so that was last month. Last year is the easiest number because I don't track my numbers as much as I should for the year. But last year I made just about 300,000 last year. My first year in business, I made 110 grand. My 300,000 year, I only worked like 8 months out of that year too. So I did all that in a short period of time.
You know, you're a multi-millionaire in South Africa. You are a multi-millionaire in South Africa. In your first year of business, you made over R1 million in South Africa.
Yeah. I mean, what I'd tell you, man, is that in South Africa, you can do, guys, I'll tell you this. I made all that money leveraging partnerships from around the world. My first year in business, I sold websites for people. And I had the courage to ask $2,800, $2,800 for a website. And I partnered with another individual in India, and he would help me make websites. And so I would pay him a fee, and he only wanted $800 first. And so I gave him 800. And then I would do a lot of facilitating customer service stuff because he was no good at the customer service. He hated talking with the customers. And so he was like, Jeff, if you can close the deals and you can handle all the customer service, then we'll make a deal. I'll do the websites for you. I don't want to talk to the customers, and we'll do it. And I was like, you have no problem with me selling for $2,800? He goes, no. He goes, you sell it for $2,800. You give me 800. You could keep the difference. And so we created this kind of partnership, and I kicked him websites. He made them. He fulfilled them. He put my name on it because he didn't want the personal thing. And I just used social media, Facebook DMs, Facebook groups, connected with people, sold websites.
Oh.
But I'll tell you this, not everybody creates a good website. So there was a lot of value I did bring to the table in helping him learn more about websites. And so, but you have to find somebody that can create quality. If you go to my website, my personal website, jefftrimble.com, you'll see that my team makes quality, which is very important. I still could have sold those quality websites, $2,800. People still to this day are like, dude, if you make me that website, I'll pay you $6 grand, 10,000, 15,000 bucks for the site that I'm at. Because business owners in the United States, man, I'll tell you this, I charge coaching consulting lessons. One of my coaching and consulting clients last year, he paid me $7 grand just for me to give him advice. 7,000 bucks to work with him one-on-one because I acquired the skills. That had nothing to do with location. Had nothing to do with location. Had everything to do with perspective. I've never even met that guy in person. It all came from Zoom internet meeting. There's no reason why somebody in Africa can't do the same thing. $7,000 in coaching. Met him from a Facebook group, and all I did was teach him social media, funnels, personal branding, a lot of things I taught you here. 7,000 bucks.
Jeff, you owe me another session, bro. We can't finish here, man. We can't finish like this. There's a lot for you to share with the people over here, man. What you're sharing here is so profound, man. I enjoy each and every second of what you're sharing, and I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna be blown away again.
Miracle perspective is in the perspective. It's finished.